Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you that egg sucking, as an insult, needs to make a comeback.
That egg sucking.
Egg sucking.
Egg sucking. Egg sucking cockroach.
Terry Funk is well established as one of the wildest, toughest, craziest sons of bitches in the entire wrestling industry. A former NWA and ECW champion, a man that's been in exploding ring death matches, a man who's been ravaged by barbed wire, who's not afraid to play with fire, and once put out a song about sleeping with an ugly groupie.
You gotta be kidding me!
I was doing all right till I turned on the light. It was then I realized she had Barbra Streisand's nose. She had Barbra Streisand's nose.
One day, I promise you. My point though is the Funker has never been afraid to mangle his own body for the entertainment of the crowd. Hell, he could even cut a promo on a horse and make it fantastic.
Oh, there you are. It's so good to see you, hot stuff.
For fun though, let's talk about one time a horse got Terry Funk back. It all begins in the dying days of WCW, who was desperate to try to grab any fans they could from the WWF and ECW, not just by taking their talents, but by taking their ideas as well. Off the popularity of ECW's Violent Vision, WCW created their Hardcore Championship and modeled their division similarly to the WWF's. Talents using a variety of weapons and unique locations to change things up. While the WWF nailed it, fighting in bars, along rivers, in play pits, wherever, WCW, unsurprisingly, lagged behind in the creativity department. But this one particular match, featuring the middle-aged and crazy Texan, stands out. Shortly after WCW rebooted in April of 2000, all titles were forfeited and quickly gobbled up by members of the New Blood. Well, all titles except one. Terry Funk was the only non-New Blood member to walk away from Reboot Week with gold, and it burned Eric Bischoff's ass. It became Eazy-E's sole mission to get that title away from Funk, recruiting whoever he could to try to out-hardcore a hardcore legend. And that takes us to today in wrestling history! May 31st, 2000. WCW presents Thunder from Boise, Idaho. The episode, much like most Thunders, was uneventful, and at some point I'll have to explain why it was Thunder itself that was the root for the company's demise. But for now, the show begins with, of all people, Chris Candido making his way to the ring. The former member of Triple Threat, wearing Terry Funk's own tights, Candido comes out to the ring to take out Terry Funk and bring the hardcore belt back to Eric Bischoff.
So just like an old horse, when it gets old, they take it to the back and they put one in its head.
Foreshadowing. Anyway, the Texas Bronco, Terry Funk, makes his way out to the ring with a steel chair in hand and is met halfway up the ramp by Candido, who somehow forgot he brought one to the ring too. It goes about as well as you'd expect. Funk and Candido brawl to the back and the crowd boos, cause, well, they can't see shit. After a few seconds, we find the two backstage where Funk pours a Rubbermaid full of stagehand equipment all over himself, cause why would things go smoothly on the first take, before Funk loads Candido onto the back of an idling flatbed truck and drives off, leaving behind the slowest referee on the planet. Seriously, he saw what we saw. Did he not think to jump into the back of the truck? We get another cut to commentary as they claim they're trying to dispatch a camera crew to follow, only for Funk to drive past a WCW camera crew that inexplicably was already at the fairgrounds. That was lucky. The former Chainsaw Charlie parks, and the former Body Donna lets Funk know exactly what he thinks of Terry's driving. Candido tosses Funk over a conveniently placed table.
Why wouldn't there be a WCW table in the stable?
And into a wheelbarrow full of WCW's creative direction.
Yes, I believe that was manure.
The two brawl into an actual horse's stable where the fun part happens. Funk regains control, hits Candido with a pile driver, and literally gets mule kicked for his efforts.
Of him. Oh! Jeez!
And he got the horse with one of the biggest high spots of the night so far.
The best part of that for me was Terry Funk, who just got shit kicked by a 400-pound horse, not only no-sold getting hit, but in his sweet, soft little tone, stood up and shouted, "You fucking horse, I'll kick your ass."
Before
I've never seen a horse kick!
Tough son of a bitch, I tell ya. Now in the case of we ran out of ideas, Candido, for some reason, lassos himself before climbing up the stable wall. So what do you think was gonna happen? The hardcore icon pulls on the rope gently, causing Candido to fall right through the table because wrestlers are dumb. Speaking of dumb, our red-headed referee finally catches up and acts as if he ran the entire way.
Mr. Fuck, red man.
Well, that's one way to tell the kid what you think of his manners. But shit, hold on, he just knocked out the referee. Funk tries to pin Candido, realizes he knocked out Ron Howard 15 seconds ago, and revives the kid right away, which made the whole thing completely pointless. After successfully pinning Candido, Funk declares one more time, "That fucking horse!" as the camera cuts to the next segment, which was nowhere near as interesting. After this, the whole episode goes downhill, and it's a shame. The smart thing would have been to put this match in the middle of the show, because who goes to a live event just to watch the TV screen for the first 10 minutes? Oh, I get it! Terry beat him like a red-headed stepchild. Okay, yeah, okay, that gets a pass. Funk would actually lose the championship to Eric Bischoff himself with help from Big Vito and the future Relic.
That Relic, that's killer spelled backwards.
And WCW would misunderstand the fans' enjoyment of hardcore matches in remote locations by releasing Backstage Assault, arguably the worst wrestling video game of all time. But how badass was Terry Funk? This man had been wrestling for 35 years at this point. He had done so much, he had been through so much violence and gore. The man was so hardcore he could turn an awful segment in a forgettable division on a regrettable program and somehow give us some gold to talk about. And that gold, of course, once again, is being tough enough to take a kick from a horse and still talk shit to it without breaking character.
I've never seen a horse kick!
Pretty sure that thing was related to Eddie Gilbert anyway.
Now you tell me what you think about that, Eddie. Your voice has changed, but your breath is still the same.
Of course, this is all just my opinion though, and I want to ask you, what do you think of the hardcore match where a horse took on Terry Funk? Were you into these on-location style segments in the old hardcore division, or even in the 24/7 title era today? And who was more hardcore? The horse for kicking Funk's ass, or Funk for not only taking it, but trash-talking him back afterwards? Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, because I want you to be a part of this conversation too. For now though, I better get my shoulders off the mat, so thank you for tuning in to Jobbed Out. I'll catch you next time.